What's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, back again with the toy room, and today is exciting. We're in New York City and we're on our way over to the Nintendo store. You know, this is the one spot I have to hit up every single time that I come to New York. I do need to do a voiceover though, because it is very loud. Outside places, inside, there's a lot of people out today, so I more than likely am going to be doing a voiceover inside of the Nintendo store. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take a tour of the Nintendo store. I don't even know what month this is for June 2023.
Right, guys, so like I said, I had to do a voiceover, but we are here inside of the Nintendo store in New York, and of course the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom did just recently come out, so you have to imagine they're gonna have a bunch of Zelda stuff, and of course they did. Look at the crazy Master Sword, just the details in it looking all deceased and everything, obviously straight out of the game. So I think that is really cool. And just look at that detailing. Detailing's insane. And then you have these little backdrops here, more so for pictures more than anything else. They're like little cardboard cutouts, or maybe just banners. I'm not even sure the exact material, not that it matters, but you did have those photo ops there. Now going into the regular part of the store, downstairs is mainly all just merch. So you have this really cool Mario Kart statue. This thing was insane. The details on here were absolutely crazy. I think it was pretty pricey. Yeah, $130. So actually not terrible. Honestly, for a statue, that's not too bad. So $130, detail on there was pretty good. And of course you got your generic Nintendo shirts here. So you got Mario, you got Peach. I like the little emblems on the side of the sleeve right there, or the logos, I guess, not the emblems but the logos. And then you have matching cups as well. So the bottom floor is always just, you know, traditional stuff, plushies that we've seen 100 million times. Every time I visit the store, they always have the plushies. I don't think anything has changed with them. I do like the question mark block that was up there. I think that's a nice little touch. And then of course you do have 250 piece jigsaw puzzle. You know, that's pretty cool. But you got these, like, these aren't actually like Loungefly bags or wallets, I guess. They're not Loungefly branded, but they are similar to Loungefly, so those are pretty cool. And you just got generic wallets as well. And then of course traditional Mario with the M, the logo right there, and then more plushies galore, plushies for everything. Not really everything, honestly. You would think they would have more of the traditional characters, but like having the fish and piranha plant and even the fire Luigi there, but I didn't see any Bowser. I didn't, you know, the traditional characters, I didn't see any Boo, or maybe I did see Boo. I might have seen it, honestly. I have to see as we get through the rest of the footage here. But you know, overall downstairs all merch. Really cool Luigi shirt right there. Of course that's an essential that you have to have, so I really like the actual shade of green on there. And his Bowser shirt right there was pretty cool also. It reminds me, it gives me like Halloween vibes. This was pretty cool as well. You got the Super Mario Brothers done in the original NES style font, so I thought that was really cool. Just a clean black hoodie. I really do like this Wario hat. This Wario hat was just so clean. The yellow with the blue hits on there, I think that popped. And of course you got the demo stations of the Nintendo Switch, and then you have the really cool Switch Online, all the stuff about the Switch Online essentially. So you have all the details about it, the different membership tiers and everything. And then obviously you have the Sega Genesis control pad. And I thought this was pretty funny. The box says Sega Genesis, but on the top it says Nintendo. I think that's just kind of ironic if you ask me. And then moving on to the rest of the controllers, you have the Super Nintendo, the NES, as well as the Nintendo 64 controllers, which these are the only time I ever see these like in stock anywhere. Like online, they're never available, especially that Nintendo 64 controller. That's one that I've always wanted to get, but I never did. So, you know, it's still really cool to see in person. Then you got this My Nintendo kiosk where you can actually check in and actually earn platinum points for your Nintendo account, which I think is really awesome. And you also earn points while shopping as well, like when if you spend a certain amount of money. So that's pretty cool. You got the little Mario shirt right there with the same icon that's used for your Switch profiles, and then a splat mat full of NES controllers and some giant Yoshi plushes, as well as the Carrera RC cars and some giant Bowser plushies. So you do have the giant Bowser, but you don't have like the smaller one, at least that I'm aware of, but I guess that makes sense for scaling purposes, right? You got an essential Bowser and Peach shirt right here, and the Jack specific Yoshi. You can find this anywhere in any Target or Walmart, but it's pretty cool to see it here. And you have all the current Super Mario Lego sets. Obviously this was filmed a few weeks ago, probably like 2 weeks ago. So the brand new Donkey Kong sets that were coming out, those did not have on display, but I would imagine as of this recording those are on display. But at the moment when I filmed this, they were not. And then you have some really cool plushies of the Yoshi egg, the Donkey Kong barrel, Bowser shell, so those are cool. And then just a ton of Jakks Pacific toys, but I really wish Jakks Pacific would go back to making Nintendo figures, not just Mario. There was a point in time where they were making, if you guys have seen my collection, as we look at the rest of the Switch games here, but you know that Jakks Pacific was making a ton of Nintendo toys from every single line, but now they pretty much only stick to Mario figures for whatever reason. So I just wish they would bring those back. And then you have all the different colored Yoshis, which is pretty awesome. Gotta love the Yoshi variation. And then of course you do have the register off to the side right there, but I like the little mushroom topper right here on the plushies. That was really cool. And you have this display of switches, so you have all the different Switch lights, or not all of them, but you have a variety of Switch lights. Of course you got the OG red and blue neon Switch, and then you have the Switch OLED editions, and then you have the brand new Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch OLED, and this thing is absolutely beautiful. This is my first time seeing it in person out of the packaging, and man, the temptation was real. I definitely wanted to get my hands on that because it's just so clean, and it's crazy to think that it's still in stock in stores. Pretty much everywhere I go, it's always in stock. If I didn't have a baby on the way, I definitely will pick it up. And then you have these really cool, like, Nintendo, they're actually New York Nintendo branded little tumblers right here. They were actually really cool, especially that red one, really clean, and that Nintendo logo just pops. You have these old shirts, and when I say old, I mean those shirts have been there forever. I bought that green shirt probably like 5-6 years ago. You got this other really cool statue right here. This one didn't say it was on sale, so I don't know if this one you can actually purchase, but it is really cool, so that's awesome. And then of course you have the Bowser behind the register, but we'll get there in a second. Those sweatpants actually were really clean as well. But you have Bowser, he's always been there, popping out next to the side of the register, and all the different amiibos as well, and the Donkey Kong barrel charging station, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, this Bowser never gets old. Every time I see it, just such a great display piece. And then you have some of the amiibos, not all of them, but you have some of the main amiibos right here in this little like light up display case, which has been here before. And then you have the Nintendo New York logo right there, and a couple of other various different shirts and whatnot. So now we're gonna go ahead and bypass the registers and make our way upstairs, where arguably that's where most of the cooler stuff is. The stuff downstairs is pretty basic, pretty simple. It's just, you know, your traditional just t-shirts and impulse buys to get people who are wandering in to purchase stuff. And then as we get up those stairs, you're obviously gonna have the stuff that's been here before, but if you guys have never seen this before, you have Toad and you have Luigi on display right here. And then there's this flagpole that actually leads from the first floor all the way up to the second floor. And then once we get to the second floor, you will obviously see Mario on the top of that flagpole. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because we do need to take a look at the pretty cool TV displays that they have built into the wall. And of course you got Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, just a really cool graphic that they had on the TV right there. So as we make our way up, you can see the flagpole, how it goes from the bottom all the way to the top, all the way up there, and there is the bottom of Mario's boots right there. And then you have some piranha plants and warp pipes on the window, so cool little window display there. And they had another Tears of the Kingdom elevator graphic right here, so pretty cool right there. Now we're gonna make our way up, and this is where I was surprised. The statue that they have on display of Link is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it is just stunning. We're gonna go ahead and get there in a second. This Pikachu's been here for a while, but if you haven't seen it, there's Pikachu sitting on the Pokeball right there, so really cute every time I see it. But that's not the star of the show. The star of the show is going to be this brand new Tears of the Kingdom Link statue, and man, this thing was just absolutely amazing. Arm fully glows, all LED lit up, just absolutely. Look at that. All the details in this statue were just absolutely phenomenal. I don't even think the video is doing it justice, and pictures aren't doing it justice, but man, oh man, was this thing beautiful. Just, man, just everywhere you look, all the little belt buckles and the chain link mesh that he's wearing, and just all the details on there was absolutely stunning. And I really sat here probably for like 10-15 minutes before filming this video. I sat there just admiring it myself before I started filming. But the bow, the arrow, the little pouch, that little sack that he has, just all the details here. If I could have this in my house, even look at the effects there of the cape just blowing in the wind. If I could have this in my house, I absolutely would. I would love to add this to the toy room because this was honestly just so beautiful. Like, I know I'm like geeking out right now, but like I'm just watching this video back, and man, I'm honestly at a loss for words. But we need to move on. We can't just focus on that because I could spend the whole video talking about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the merch that they had. A pretty clean and simple, you know, Triforce little logo right there. And then, of course, you have a heart container pillow. I wouldn't say it's a plushie. It's more of a pillow. And it's, you know, pretty cool. And, of course, you have some plushies of Link and Zelda right over there. And then some Master Shield pillows as well to complement the heart containers, some anime, some manga, or not anime, but some mangas, some comic books as well, and then you have more t-shirts. Now these are a little bit older. These are from the Skyward Sword HD, and then this is obviously from Ocarina of Time, obviously the iconic Listen shirt that has been there for a while as well. So a lot of like mixture of old stuff and new stuff. And then you do have these statues here from Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. So not really like new, I guess, but they are really cool. 223 seems a little bit expensive for that Link, but I guess he is a bit more intricate than that Mario Kart one downstairs. So I guess that makes sense. And then this one was really, really good and really detailed out as well. This is from Breath of the Wild is what it's labeled as, so it's not from Tears of the Kingdom, but still really, really cool looking details right there. And we move on to some of the other shirts. Again, Breath of the Wild merch. I didn't really see, other than like the stuff they had on display, like the statues and the picture ops, or the photo ops, right when the front of the store, I didn't see really many like Tears of the Kingdom merch. They still have Breath of the Wild merch. But then you have this really cool Metroid Fusion shirt. I will say the print did look a little bit cheap. I did like the image on there, but it just looked a little cheap and faded out. But then you also have these Kirby backpacks, which are pretty awesome. I can imagine that pink Kirby one is very, very popular. And then you do have these bags as well. Again, they're not Loungefly bags, but they're kind of done in that same style. Just nice leather bags, pretty high quality and pretty cute designs on them, if that is something you're into. And then you have obviously the little Kirby, almost like a secondary pouch or like a secondary purse. Yeah, those Kirby lunch boxes, and then these Kirby mangas as well. I didn't realize like how many mangas are out, or like Nintendo mangas that exist, because everywhere in the store, as we look at these really cool Kirby like sucking in plushes, those are really awesome. But just the amount of mangas that were in the store were actually pretty crazy. So you got this really cool Pikmin set from Jakks Pacific, and honestly it's really awesome. But I already have all of those figures individually, and I'm not really into army building like that, but it was a really cool set to see. And then of course you do have some Animal Crossing merchandise right here. So really standard shirts, nothing like too mind-blowing. And of course you gotta have the plushes and a couple puzzles sitting right there, and just even more plushes, like plushes galore. This might be the most plushes in the store with for Animal Crossing, or at least as far as like variety goes, I would say Animal Crossing has the most, as we see KK Slider right over there. And then this really cute Animal Crossing bag as well. I can imagine this one being very popular with the ladies out there. And then we have a little Splatoon section, which is pretty awesome, and again, mangas galore. So I just not realized like how many mangas are out for Nintendo, which is pretty crazy and pretty awesome if you're into that kind of stuff. I've never personally got into mangas, but still really cool, as we see the rest of the shirts over there. And then I think we've seen this before, or maybe it was like a smaller version, but you have the I don't even know the official name of this one. It's not the Splatter Shot, is it? It might be. Oh yes, it is the Splatter Shot, as we turn around right there. This isn't the one that was on display for E3, I don't believe. So this might be different from the one that was there previously, but it's really big, really massive, and the details on it are really, really great. And then some more Animal Crossing stuff here, some sticker books, some backpacks, some more plushes, as well as that backpack that we saw earlier. Now we're going to work our way around and try not to gaze over the statue too much. I did want to come back and take a look at this Metroid sweater because people were standing in the way before. But that's a really cool graphic, NES, style graphic there. And then you have this almost like suede-ish jacket right there. And I really love this orange jacket. You can see Metroid, and it's got the Nintendo Entertainment System logo right there. And just the orange on that jacket really pops. So that was a really big thing I was a fan of there. So we're going to continue our way through the store and kind of fast forward as we go around. As you can see, we have the wall of consoles here. Man, oh man, I love seeing this every single time I come. Now, I don't believe anything has changed, so we're just going to breeze through this really quickly. But you got the Game & Watch, the original Game & Watch, not the remakes, but you have the original Game & Watch. Now, this is like the handheld side, and then on the other side is the console, so we're going to get there in a second. But of course, you have the iconic original Game Boy, and then the Game Boy Pocket, and the Game Boy Light, which I believe was exclusive to Japan. I don't think we ever got that here in the States. And then the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, followed by obviously the Game Boy Advance SP, and Nintendo DS. Now this is the Famicom version of the Game Boy Advance SP, so a really cool special edition. And then you got the original DS, the Game Boy Micro, super underrated if you ask me, and a couple of special editions of the DS Lite and the DSi, and some other various special editions from the Nintendo 3DS, the DSi XL, the 3DS XL, I'm sorry, the new 3DS XL, all the different variations. You got the 2DS, yeah, the really cool Legend of Zelda one right there, the I think that's the Pokemon one, that red translucent 2DS. And you got these really cool special edition Game Boy SPs. Those are awesome. The Pokemon, the Venusaur and Charizard one, the bedazzled Nintendogs one never gets old, and a couple of different Zelda DSs. So a lot of variety here, and just really cool limited edition stuff that you don't see every single day, which I really like. So moving on, of course, we got a little bit of a glare, so I'm going to try my best to block the glare out for you guys. You got, obviously, the NES right there, along with Rob the Robot. I call him Rob the Robot, but R-O-B, Rob for short. And there he is right there, looking pretty cool. And my favorite console of all time, the Super Nintendo. Man, oh man, I cannot get enough of that. Such a beautiful console. And then you have the, unfortunately, the failed Virtual Boy, but still really clean example of one. And then the Nintendo 64 right there with Super Mario 64, extremely faded, if I will admit. And then you have a Nintendo GameCube here. What I would like to see is like why is it the black GameCube and not the indigo one? And like, why don't they have like some of the other special edition consoles? Like, why aren't, I would like to see like all the standard colors, and then maybe a section for all the different variations. I just like seeing like the stock colors. But anyways, we breeze through the Wii U, Switch, the Switch Lite, all that good stuff. And we have these cards here because Nintendo did start out, before making video games, they were originally a card company. And then here are some of their earlier consoles, and the Famicom, which is the NES in Japan. That is what they got over in Japan versus what we got. And then same thing here with the Super Famicom. That is Japan's version of the Super Nintendo. So really cool to see. I still prefer, honestly, I don't know which one I prefer over the NES or the regular Famicom. They're both really cool designs, but when it comes to the Super Famicom or Super Nintendo, I still prefer the Super Nintendo. But as we come into this little alcove here, this little corner over here, we just got a ton of Pokemon plushies, just different variations of Pikachu, which is just absolutely wild. And then of course your regular plushes, clothing, stuff like that. You got Lucario just sitting on this sweater or hoodie right here. And then again, just way more plush. So I take that back. Pokemon definitely had, that's a really cool Pikachu hat right there. But Pokemon definitely has the most plush. I stand corrected. Animal Crossing Splatoon, not even close. The amount of Pikachu plushes here, as well as other Pokemon as well, just absolutely amazing. Like the amount of plushes that were here. And then you got a couple of these little like statues as well, so those are really cool. And then some legendary Pokemon right here. Honestly, I don't really keep up to date with the newer Pokemon, so I don't really know too much. But you got that really cool shirt with Dragonite, and then this other one here with, it's not just Dragonite, you had all the dragon Pokemon. You got some fire Pokemon on there with Charizard, and of course you had one with a water and grass type as well. That really cool Blastoise Hydro Pump shirt, that was awesome. I'm not entirely sure what this was, to be honest with you. Looks like just some sort of backpack, but that must be an item for the newer games. And then again, just these really cool mashup shirts, and this really giant Snorlax plush here with, I think that's maybe like a Sudowoodo growing on top of them. Honestly, not sure. And then this really crazy Gengar, like Squishmallow, however you pronounce it. That new fad that's going on. I can't even talk right now. You had that Gengar version of a Squishmallow, and then a bunch of different like cooking utensils. Yeah, not really sure what that's about, but hey, you know, if you want to cook with Pokemon, well, there you go. You got a couple teaspoons and some spatulas and whatnot. And then we need to get to my favorite part, which we're not there yet. We're almost there. We got a couple Mew plushes and this other weird looking Pikachu shirt. But my favorite shirt, if I were to buy any single shirt in this place, wait, we got one more thing to look at. I'm sorry, I forgot about this crazy Charizard statue right here. Just absolutely sick. But honestly, if I were to buy one thing in this store, it would be this right here. Look at this. This is such a sick shirt, man. I would love to get that shirt just to go like on a cruise or a vacation, just to have that shirt flexing all the Pokemon, man, on the beach like that. 100%. Like if I were to go home with one thing, it would have been that shirt. It was a little overpriced. I think it was like $50, but I was very tempted to buy that. But anyways, you got some of the Nintendo Switches over here, as well as all the different demo kiosks right there. And of course, you have the huge Nintendo Switch on this huge monitor over here. Man, seeing the screen and just playing Mario Kart on this massive screen. I don't even know what size this screen is. This is probably like, if I had to guess, maybe like an 80-inch screen, maybe even bigger. I don't even know. But just playing video games on there is absolutely crazy. It's not a normal TV. It's like a Jumbotron style, like that you would see in like basketball arenas, like that type of thing. And then you have this really sick, it's not coming out great on camera, but you have this really sick LED banner of Tears of the Kingdom. And you can see like it on camera, it's all crazy because of the lights and everything, but it's transparent, so you can actually see through it. You can see the window behind and all the city street and everything like that behind it. but it's very trippy, and you can see that big like gap right there. But yeah, the video is not doing it justice. I mean, this thing is absolutely wild, and just seeing it in person and being able to look at it but then also see through it at the same time with that LED or I guess it's like OLED technology, whatever it is, it's just absolutely stunning. But that is it. That is our visit at the Nintendo store in New York for June 2023. Another great visit. A lot of brand new stuff as well as a lot of old stuff, so it was kind of a mixed bag, but really cool seeing all the stuff they had on display. But that's gonna do it for me, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. That link's in the description down below, and I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. So as always, guys, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys next time.